Welcome to Easy Pace English, the place where English is learned calmly, clearly, and with purpose. Today's lesson is designed for those of you who are ready to take your English to the next level. If you're already comfortable with everyday phrases and conversations, this is the step where you begin to refine your fluency and sound more like a native speaker. In this video, we're going to focus on mastering daily conversations at a C1 level. That means learning how to speak with nuance, how to express yourself more precisely, and how to navigate different social and professional situations using natural, advanced English. I'll be guiding you through typical phrases, expressions, and strategies you can use in real life conversations, the kind of English you hear in cafes, offices, video calls, and casual meetups between fluent speakers. Let's begin by talking about small talk, something most learners think is basic, but at the C1 level, you'll need to add subtlety and variety to your responses. For example, instead of simply saying, I'm good, thanks, when someone asks how you are, you could say something like, I've been keeping busy, but all's well, or no complaints, just taking things one day at a time. These responses show that you're not just answering automatically. You're adding depth and personality to your speech. Now let's imagine a scenario. You're meeting someone at a networking event. You shake hands and introduce yourself. But rather than just saying, nice to meet you, a more natural C1 level phrase could be, it's great to finally put a face to the name. Or, I've heard a lot about your work. It's great to connect in person. These are phrases that create rapport and make you sound more confident and socially aware. In daily conversations, transitions matter too. A basic speaker might jump from one idea to the next, but an advanced speaker uses linking expressions to guide the listener smoothly. You can say things like, that being said, on a similar note, or just to build on that idea when moving between thoughts. These transitions help your speech feel more professional and well structured, whether you're in a meeting or having coffee with a colleague. Another key point is expressing opinions. At C1 level, it's no longer enough to say, I think. You'll want to use variations like, from my perspective, if you ask me, or I'm inclined to believe that. These expressions offer more variety and can help you avoid sounding repetitive, especially in longer conversations. Now let's talk about disagreement, a tricky area, especially in English, where politeness plays a big role. Instead of saying, I disagree, which can sound too direct, you might say, I see your point, but I'm not entirely convinced, or that's an interesting perspective, though I tend to see it a bit differently. These phrases allow you to express disagreement in a respectful, thoughtful way, a crucial skill at the C1 level. Asking for clarification is another area where advanced learners can shine. Don't settle for, can you repeat that? Try saying, just to make sure I understood you correctly. Or, could you elaborate a little on that? These forms show both confidence and a desire to fully engage in the conversation. Let's imagine a dialogue at work. A colleague explains a new policy, and you didn't catch everything. Rather than saying what, you could say, sorry, I didn't quite catch that last part. Could you go over it again? It's natural, polite, and fluent. Now let's look at storytelling. In fluent conversation, people often share anecdotes, personal experiences, or describe situations. The C1 learner should be comfortable using time phrases, details, and expressive language. For example, instead of saying, I went to a concert and it was fun, try, I managed to catch a live show last weekend. The atmosphere was electric, and the band absolutely nailed it. That kind of vocabulary brings your speech to life. You'll also need to be comfortable with conversational fillers and discourse markers. Native speakers use them all the time, things like, actually, to be honest, and at the end of the day. These give your speech rhythm and help you sound more spontaneous, but be careful not to overuse them. At C1 level, balance is key. Let's shift to phone conversations. Speaking English over the phone or in a voice-only setting can be more difficult than face-to-face interaction because you don't have visual cues. So you need to be especially clear. You might say, I just wanted to check in on the status of, or let me make sure I've got this right. These types of phrases are common in professional and semi formal communication. Now, sometimes you'll need to politely interrupt. A beginner might not try at all, but a confident speaker could say, sorry to jump in, but I just wanted to add something. Or before we move on, may I just say, these keep the conversation flowing without sounding rude. Another aspect of fluency is the ability to summarize or conclude thoughts. You can say, so, in a nutshell, or to sum it up, to bring the conversation to a clear end. These are especially useful in discussions, presentations, or when giving your opinion during a debate. Now, let's put this all together. Imagine you're catching up with a friend over lunch. You start with small talk. Honestly, it's been a hectic week, but I've managed to stay afloat. You transition. Anyway, that being said, I've been thinking about what you mentioned the other day. You express your opinion. I'm inclined to think that taking a short break would do you a lot of good. You ask for clarification. Just so I'm clear, you're thinking of taking time off entirely or just cutting back on hours? You disagree gently. I get where you're coming from, but don't you think stepping away completely might feel a bit too abrupt? That's what fluency at C1 level looks like. It's not just about vocabulary, but about how you shape your ideas, how you engage with others, and how confident you sound. And the good news is, this is something you can practice daily. You don't need to memorize 100 expressions. You just need to understand how to express yourself with variety, nuance, and flow. So here's what I recommend. Choose 3 to 5 phrases from today's lesson and practice using them in different situations. Say them out loud, record yourself, or write short dialogues using them. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. Thanks for learning with Easy Pace English. And remember, learning English is not a race, it's a journey. See you in the next lesson.